Hello guys and welcome to another speed build. Today I am de-renovating an apartment in the fashion district for my Black Widow challenge. So my thought behind this apartment is that my sim, which you can see in the hallway, called Evelyn Archer, was kicked out of her house after her mother died and her father remarried a new woman. And she's bitter because she has to live in this apartment, which is literally a dump, which you will see that I will make it look so terrible, and it's a really low standard. So I actually had a lot of fun making this apartment. I've actually never made an apartment or a house that looks really terrible, so it was a fun challenge, and I think it ends up costing a little under, is it 7,000 or something? Or at least I used 7,000 or 8,000 simoleons. So she has a little bit money left for the challenge. Since this is an apartment, she has to pay rent, so I thought that would be best to just leave a little bit of money for her. So there are a couple of fixed items in this apartment which I can't remove, which is the drain in the bathroom. So I just had to build the bathroom there because I didn't want a drain in the middle of the bedroom or the living room or the kitchen. Then there is that murder scene chalk drawing on the floor, which is quite interesting. And then you also have the utilities in the bedroom with the pipes, and I think it's a box that's supposed to control the electricity in the apartment. So I think this apartment actually has a lot of charm, and I thought it was perfect for this kind of build where I de-renovated it and made it look really, really crappy. And here I'm just testing to see if the sim can go between, and she couldn't, so I had to move the bed and I just delete the suitcases. And as you can see from the furniture I'm choosing the cheapest of the cheapest, and that's because she's really poor. She didn't get a lot of money when she moved out of her father's place after her mom died, so she's just taking what's cheapest, and probably like the crate for the nightstand she found outside and just took it in. And here you can see me starting to make the place look really crappy with holes in the walls, and I'm also going to put up a lot of stains. And I might have gone a little bit overboard with this because it was so much fun making it look really terrible, but I had fun, so I feel that that's what matters. So here you can see me putting up some stains and scratches and just making it look not nice. And also I put up some motivational posters because this is the Black Widow challenge, so I want her to have a couple of motivational posters on the wall just to motivate her to meet a man and kill him, because that's what the Black Widow challenge is all about. You meet a man and then you marry him, and then you cheat on him, and then you kill him. And then you do that to the next person and the next person and the next person. So it's going to be a lot of fun doing this challenge, I think. And I'm actually looking really forward for this Let's Play challenge. And it's going to be my first Let's Play on this channel, so I'm super excited to get that started. And for the kitchen here, I chose the cheapest counters and cabinets from City Living, which are supposed to look really run down and old and just scuffed and chuffed and have a lot of marks from wear and tear. The same with the stove. And I just chose the cheapest sink, and I chose the carpet that looks like it's been really worn and torn as well. And just a couple of items for the kitchen so the counters doesn't look that empty. So I chose a bread box, the paper towel roll, and a couple of utensils for cooking. And that's about it. And then I'm like, where do I put the fridge? So I end up moving the sink and deleting the counter and the cabinet where the sink is now, and I put the fridge there. So it looks like a really crappy kitchen, and I also put some scuff marks and some holes and stains in the kitchen as well, especially over the oven, because I imagine that would be where you would see that the most. And I was contemplating on trying to put a microwave on top of the fridge, but I couldn't do it even with the red shelf. That's super helpful with placing things anywhere, really. So I wasn't able to do that, so I just end up with going with some wine bottles instead, because I imagine that having such a crappy apartment, and sorry about that was my Facebook, just ignore that. And having such a crappy apartment, you would probably want to drink a couple of glasses of wine every now and then. And I'm onto the living room now, and I just take the cheapest flat screen TV and I size it up. I don't know how she could afford that, but I at least thought that it would be nice to give her something nice and not the small crappy TV. And I'm just choosing some really boring, not that nice furniture, and I think she gets 1 or 2 flower pots in here, and then just the cheapest dining set. And I also put up a side table with a boombox and a snuggly bear. So I was like really undecisive of this bear with the heart, but I do end up choosing it because I imagined that this was one of the few things that she took from home, including some of the clothes from her mom and some of her jewelries, and that this is kind of like, this is something she got from her mom as well when she was a kid, and that she just kept that because she misses her mom. So here I'm just putting up some more stains and tears and cracks and scratch marks, and I imagine the person living here before was not a very neat person, and I think it's been like this for years, and the landlord just hasn't done anything with it, and the rent is probably still not that cheap because it's in the fashion district, and that's a pretty hot district in Linnsanegaming. So but it was still the cheapest one that she could afford. And what is really fun about having an apartment in this challenge as well is that she has to pay rent. So that will be interesting to see if I can actually like stay in this apartment for a sim week or maybe 2 sim weeks before I actually get married, and just see if I can actually be able to pay the rent with the money I have, or if I need to go outside and start collecting stuff or something like that. Because in this challenge, you're not allowed to make money from working. You have to make money from, before you're married, you have to make money from only collecting stuff and selling those. And after you're married, you're not allowed to do that either. And then it's just the money your husband has that you're allowed to use. So here I'm just putting up a painting of a wine glass because I think that this is something she maybe like bought at a flea market because she's a snob and materialistic. So she doesn't really like living in this apartment. I imagine anyone wouldn't actually like to live in this apartment, but she's trying to make the best out of it to seem a bit more classy. And here I'm just putting up the other flower pot and a couple of letters and some books. And I did not include a bookcase in this build because I can't imagine that Evelyn would actually read that much. She needs to get her cooking skills up and her charisma skills up, so I put in a mirror and she can cook in the kitchen. But I'm not going to get her cooking skills up just quite yet because I am planning on killing off the first husband by poisoning him with nigiri, pufferfish. So you have to be really crappy at I think it's gourmet cooking you have to be really crappy at least. So that will be interesting. That will be very interesting. So here I'm just putting up some more scuff marks and stains and tears and over the place, and I'm contemplating on putting some pictures here, but I couldn't find anything that I liked. So now we're on to the pictures, and this is just a view from the hallway over to the kitchen and the living room, and it looks really terrible, and I'm so pleased with it. And here we have the kitchen, which looks also really, really terrible, and I'm super happy about that. And we're also on to the living room, where you can see the walls. They are looking so terrible. And this is not one of the nicest builds I've done, but it's at least one of the coolest, I think, in terms of de-renovating a place. And here we have the hallway with the murder chalk mark body on the floor. And here's the bathroom, where you have lots of stains on the bathroom or the shower wall, because I imagine that this wouldn't have been cleaned forever, and now the stains have just grown. They're just stuck. And the bedroom with some motivational posters and one mirror and some clothes rack. And yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm really excited for this challenge, and I really hope that you will follow me on this Let's Play journey, seeing as it's my first one. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. So long, bye!